Hello, this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader reading books for you. Today I will be reading Chapter 5 from The Bucket by DJ Cattrell, illustrated by Mei Lee. Before I begin reading, I would like to give a big thanks to the author for sending me this book to read on my channel. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chapter 5. Rachel leapt over to Brian, but the trolls put their hands up, and she felt like she just hit a solid wall. This was the first time she had heard them speak. It sounded like rock grinding against rock, and it felt solid. "Stay back," they said, speaking together at the same time. It was like they were one voice split into two people. In Rachel's head, she heard Brian's reassuring voice again. "It's okay, Rachel. They are healing me. Giving my life force away requires a little recovery time." Rachel's mind raced, not for the first time. "Will you die?" Brian evaded the question. "I must tell you that there are creatures and plants in the meadow from many worlds that are dangerous to humans. They don't mean to be. They are just trying to live. You are strangers here. You may not be welcome everywhere. I am so tired now. I must sleep soon." The trolls continued to stroke the unicorn. "So that's what he sounds like." Robin stood next to Rachel. "Thank you, Brian," he said. "I really thank you, and I'm really sorry." Brian smiled in both of their minds. "You must go. I wanted to take you to Sarah, but you must find her on your own. There's not much time before the portal closes, and you will all be trapped here for another 8 years. Your sister needs that portal to return to your world." Brian's voice, in her mind, weakened. "I have lived a long time. I need to rest now. Go on, children, skedaddle. I am so very tired." Brian's sleepy voice faded from their minds. Rachel took a step backwards. "Oh, Brian!" as she cried. Tears rolled down her face, dropping to the leafy ground beneath her. Robin stepped over to Rachel, put his arm around her, and turned her away. "I think we had better go. He said we don't have much time." Rachel turned back to say goodbye to the silent unicorn, who had become her best friend so quickly, but he and the trolls were gone. Just not there. Her sadness could have filled the bucket that she still had strapped to her belt. They walked slowly from the edge of the woods and looked out over the meadows. "Which way do you think, Rachel?" Rachel could see a wisp of smoke way off in the distance. "I suppose we should head to that," she said, feeling utterly miserable. The meadows seemed quiet enough. Rachel thought about all that had happened, trying to understand it. They had to find her sister and Robin's father and give them the portal in order to get home. She had a sister? How long had she been here? What was she like? She had a sister. She thought that she was beginning to like that idea. "I have a sister," she thought. She had thought that she was an only child, but no, she had a sister. It gave her a warm feeling inside. "I wonder what she's like." Robin had followed her footsteps into the meadow. "I'm hungry," he said. Rachel knew where this was leading. No, we might need it later. Robin continued. Just one bite? Rachel ignored him. Maybe I could just lick the apple? Rachel rolled her eyes. No. Maybe just a sniff of it then? Rachel had had enough. She stopped and looked him straight in the face and said, Robin McRacker, you are 13 years old, and I am 10. You need to grow up and look around yourself. If we are going to get across these meadows to find your father and a sister that I never knew I had, then we are going to have to help each other and rely on each other. Am I making myself clear? Robin looked hurt by this. Of course, I'll help. I'll even walk in front if you like to face any danger. What am I thinking of? Ladies first. Rachel wondered why he was here. She turned and looked at the hills and what was in between. It all looked very normal, like a scene from the Yorkshire Dales. If she walked straight to the hills, as the crow flies, it would take maybe 4 or 5 hours to reach that wisp of smoke. Brian had warned her that this was not what it looked like, and the phrase, not everything is as it seems, or something like that, rang through her mind. Only one way to find out what lay ahead, she thought, and with that started walking again. Robin walked reluctantly after her, complaining about, well, everything really. Rachel found herself studying the world around her as she walked. The grass looked the same as grass, but much greener, much more nutritious. She found herself wondering how good it must taste. She turned to Robin to say as much, but found him already on all fours, grazing like a horse. This is good grass, he said, and then stopped what he was doing. Why am I eating grass? He seemed a little bewildered. Rachel laughed. I think we have become a little bit unicorn. Robin stood up. Okay, bit weird. Let's just move on, shall we? You never saw me doing that, by the way, all right? Rachel laughed again. Okay, she said, and started walking again. She had not gone more than 5 meters when she heard a loud squelch. Help me! Robin screamed as he looked down at half his leg. The other half was in the mouth of the biggest slug, or something he had ever seen. Rachel, help me! He had thought it was a rock and had gone to stand on it, but as he put his foot on it, he sank in up to his knee. Rachel came running to find Robin trying to pull his leg out of what did indeed, at first glance, seem like a large round rock. She immediately noticed the slight shine it had and sort of tentacles gripping into the ground. She had seen something like this before. What was it? She thought hard and quick. It looked like an upside-down sea anemone. It's got me. I'm going to die. I'm being eaten by a slug. Help me! Rachel looked at Robin with a look of some contempt. Hold still. She looked at the tentacles reaching into the ground and thought, well, if it reacts like an actual anemone, and then tickled one of them with her hand. Immediately the tentacles withdrew into the body of the rock, and Robin's leg shot out of the top, spinning him backwards. His trousers were covered in a green slime that smelt acrid and salty, all at the same time. After Robin's leg came out a large round ball of something green and slimy shot out of it. I think you had your foot in its bottom. What? No! He wiped his hand down, trying to clean it off. The ball of green slime came down on Robin's head with a resounding splat. Ow! Yuck! This is disgusting. Ugh! It's horrible! Yuck, yuck, yuck! Green slime stuck to his hand as he wiped. You took your time. I could have been eaten there. He grabbed at handfuls of grass and continued trying to wipe the sticky gunge off of himself. Rachel was annoyed again. Not by its bottom, you couldn't. And I just saved your... Oh, never mind. We have a long way to go across the meadows, and I don't think it will be a gentle stroll. Try not to put your foot up or down anything else's bottom, will you? Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for Chapter 6. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the description below, I've included links where you find and purchase this book.